Welcome back to Stooge Stream. I am your host, the Stooge, and this is going to be a video about my PS Vita collection so far. We'll have a look at all the games. But firstly, a little about the console. I honestly think the PS Vita is the best handheld console ever made, hands down. Graphically, it blows the 3DS out of the water. The twin stick controls mean that you can actually play a lot of first-person shooters or games that necessarily you wouldn't associate with a handheld platform on this. Power-wise, it's incredibly quick. The fact that it uses cartridges means really little loading time. This console just has so many advantages, but unfortunately, the juggernaut that is the 3DS destroyed it. But that doesn't mean there aren't a lot of great games on the console and a lot of great games still coming out. For instance, Ys 8 recently came out for the PS Vita, and that's a fantastic game. I've got the PS4 version because the Vita version is very hard to find over here, but you can get that on the Vita, and it's the full game. It's exactly the same. There is no difference. That's awesome. But anyway, let's get on with the games. I'm starting to get used to these interruptions. I feel like it just happened, didn't it? Something just happened, right? Just ignore G Banks and hopefully he will go away. Anyway, on to the games. First up, these are in no particular order. Phantasy Star Online 2. I imported this. It was actually quite cheap to import as well. I think it only cost me about $25. Fantastic game. It took me about, 25 minutes. Watching a tutorial online, playing along, just to get the basics of where everything is. And once you got that, that's all you needed. A lot of it is actually in English as well, so that's kind of weird. One of my favorite games on the Vita, and you can see exactly what I paid for it, $28. Sorcery Saga. This is a fantastic dungeon crawling RPG. Now, this kind of reminds me of something between Diablo, a tactics game with your movement style. The fighting style is turn-based, and there's also a pet simulator a la Pokemon in there as well. Interesting, right? Another fantastic game for the Vita, Freedom Wars. This is a really huge RPG. A lot of fun. It's hard to describe. It's an action. It's kind of something like Monster Hunter, but with a story like Persona. There you go. That's how you describe that game. This one needs no introduction, of course. Odin's Sphere. I have the Vita version, and I also have the PS4 version of that game. Persona 4 Dancing All Night. I believe this is a Vita exclusive. Really fun rhythm game in the Persona universe. If you're a fan of rhythm games or just want something quick arcade style and you like Persona games, highly recommend it. I have to admit, I have not played a lot of this yet. Grand Kingdom. It's another RPG. It looks like your old school turn-based style RPG action. I'm looking forward to getting into this, but I've only just sort of scratched the surface of it when I got it. Another fantastic game, needs no introduction. Dragon's Crown. This is a must-have. Also available on the PS3. It's a beat-em-up with weird art. Another fantastic game, Soul Sacrifice. So this is a RPG action game where you use parts of your own soul to sacrifice to summon demons. So you're kind of weakening yourself for to win. So you've got to be very careful. There's a lot of planning and strategy and balancing what elements you're going to use. It's a good game. Muramasa Rebirth. So this was on the Wii. They re-released it on the Vita with updated graphics, so on and so on. It is an action platformer. Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits. If you don't know what the Monkey Ball game is by now, I can't help you. I like the Dynasty Warriors game, so Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition. Plays exactly like you expect it to play. It looks exactly like you expect it to look. Fantastic. This was an early game on the Vita. It is called Reality Fighters. where you make your own character and fighting style and fight, and there's sort of an RPG element. It's not great, but it's so cheap that it's worth picking up. A game that everyone should play is Uncharted Golden Abyss, one of the games in the Uncharted series. This is a Vita exclusive one, and it is a fantastic game. It is absolutely a must-play. If you're a fan of RPGs, you know the Tales of series, and this is Tales of Hearts R. This has been a long-running RPG franchise. This doesn't suffer at all from being on the Vita. In fact, I think it enhances it slightly. Looks fantastic, plays fantastic, and includes DLC and all sorts of other stuff. Though I have this on other systems, of course, having a port of Rayman Origins on the go never hurt anyone. This is a great platformer. If you haven't played Origins or Legends, you definitely should. As I said, guys, this is going to be long. We're not even halfway through yet. Lumini's Electronic Symphony. I can't speak today. Puzzle game based on music and rhythm. Really good puzzle game. Very much worth playing. There was a version on the original PSP as well. Little Big Planet. Sony-owned franchise, platformer. You can create your own levels, download levels. This is good. This is a lot of fun. And it's not too expensive, so it's well worth getting. That is the Marvel Superheroes edition. Arcana Love Heart Max 3. This is a fighting game, one-on-one, 2D side-on fighter. Great game if you like games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and blah, blah, blah. You will very much enjoy this. Very good game. And also, it was very cheap. So, I don't know why. Maybe because it came out right at the end of the Vita's sort of supposed life cycle. But the Vita's still pumping. Demon Gaze. This is another one I imported. Great thing about the Vita being region-free. Really haven't played too much of this. It is an RPG. Anything that has NIS on it, I pretty much try to grab. So, yeah, RPG. Don't know much about it. If you've played it, let me know. Again, cheap. You can see what I paid for it. Lego Batman 3. You know what the Lego games are. They're fun, and it's good on the go. This was actually a great port of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it came with a bunch of the DLC characters and stuff, and so on and so on. Great version of the game, plays perfectly, great on the go. Can't have a Sony console without Wipeout, so Wipeout 2048. This is currently included in the new Wipeout collection, but this is where it was first, and it plays fantastically. Again, with cartridges and so forth, because you get so little loading time. It's just quick snap arcade racing and just brutally difficult fun. Next up, we have Criminal Girls Invite Only. This is a very Japanese style RPG where you lead a group of criminal girls from hell and try and earn their place back into either purgatory or heaven. It's very weird, but it's a lot of fun. The actual action system is really good. Akihabara Strip, Undead and Undressed. This is an action RPG game, kind of like Yakuza actually. That's sort of what it reminds me of. Where you're facing vampires and you need to strip their clothes off for them to die. It's kind of pervy, but it's not actually as bad as you think. And because of the action system in it and how much fun it is, it's well worth playing. Again, I'm a huge fan of one-on-one fighters, so BlazBlue. Which one's this? Continuum Shift Extended. Just a great one-on-one fighting series. Lots of fun. If you like, again, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, so on and so on. Definitely worth checking out the BlazBlue series. Earth Defense Force 2 Invaders from Planet Space. This is a must-have. Such a fun game. What started off as a budget series in Japan has now been running for, I think, around 10 years. With constant new entries in the series, and Earth Defense Force 4 came out on PS4 recently, or last year. Not that recently anymore. This series is going to be kicking on for a long time. It's third-person action-adventure. It's got that 50s monster movie feel. You know what? If you like Starship Troopers, you will love this game, because that's what it is. It's Starship Troopers the game. One of my favorite RPGs on the system, and something I put way too much time into, Ragnarok Odyssey. This is just a really well-made RPG and a lot of fun. If you haven't played this and you're a JRPG fan, this is one you definitely need to have a look at. Go check out a gameplay video from it. And if you have played it, comment below. Strangers of Sword City. It's another one I haven't played a lot of. It looks like another JRPG. But you see that magic thing, NIS? Grab that. If you don't know who NIS are, they're... What does it stand for? No, it's just NIS America. So basically, they take Japanese, Korean, and Chinese games, translate them and release them into the West in limited numbers. It's kind of like limited run games, but way less limited. They actually make a decent amount of these things. But once they're gone, they're gone. Like that's it. They move on to the next thing. They're not a huge company. They can't afford to keep reprinting stuff. So if you see NIS, it's definitely worth grabbing if you're an RPG fan, because that's what 99% of the games they release are. Or at least watch a trailer for it and go, does this look interesting to me? And then grab it. Another action, adventure, beat 'em up style game. One Piece Unlimited World R. Or Red. I believe this may have come out on PS4 as well, but you know, having a handheld version of a game that's that good quality, I'm always going to go for. I've actually got this on PS4 as well. It's Aegis of Earth. So this is an interesting tower defense style game and an RPG at the same time. It's very hard to describe this game, but if you go watch some gameplay of it for a few minutes, you'll be like, oh, I kind of get what you mean. $9. You don't turn down a Vita game for $9, even if it's the Lego movie game. And Lego games are fun enough. I am going to completely butcher the name of this, but this is another action-adventure RPG that I put way too much time into. Alright, here we go. Toikiden, The Age of Demons. Did I get that? Did I get close? Did I get anywhere near close? This is a Koei title, the people that make Dynasty Warriors. So it kind of has action like that, but not. It's more an RPG. And look, it's just really fun. This is worth checking out. Killzone Mercenaries. Now, Killzone on the PSP was absolutely terrible. This is a phenomenal game. I have finished it twice. And not only that, it's cheap. This shows the potential of how well first-person shooters can work on the Vita. And it's a shame that more weren't released. There was only a very small number of them. But really, this really shows how well first-person shooters work. It takes every control into account. It is a phenomenal game. The original Little Big Planet. The early release Dynasty Warriors next. As I said, I'm a Dynasty Warriors fan, and this is a fantastic version of it. So this was the first dungeon crawler on the system. It's Dungeon Hunter Alliance, and it's actually pretty damn good. If you like Diablo-style games, this isn't bad. It is a Diablo clone flat out, but there's lots of replay value. Once you finish the game, like Diablo, you start it again and everything's a much higher level. There's more loot and armor and equipment and better stuff to find. You can keep leveling your character. There's multiple characters to choose from. There's an arena. There's just all sorts of stuff in this game. And these days, it's really cheap. And I'm telling you, if you like Diablo-style games, you will enjoy this. Alright, let's burn through a few of these quickly. Army Corps of Hell. I didn't play much of this. I remember not really enjoying it. It's one of those, you've got minions and you use them, Pikmin style games. Ridge Racer, it's just Ridge Racer. It's not bad. If you like arcade races, it's not a bad one. And this is really cheap now. Unit 13, this was another first-person shooter. This is actually first to third-person shooter. It's actually pretty good. It's not the greatest game ever made, but if you like shooters, again, this is really cheap now, and it's pretty fun. Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. It's not bad. It's a 2D, or not 2D, 2.5D side-scrolling version of Batman Arkham Knight. It's pretty fun. It's okay. Haven't tried this. Looks Pokemon-esque. Borderlands 2 gets a really horrible rap on this system. It's actually nowhere near as bad as people say. You get all the DLC, and if you just remap the buttons, which you can, it's fine. Yeah, it's annoying that you need to remap the buttons to something that's a little bit more workable, but it's fine. Just change grenade to run. Just swap a few things over and you'll be absolutely fine. And this is quite playable. It's a little bit laggy in parts, but you know what? It's a huge FPS on the Vita. If you can get it for cheap, it's worth it. Like, this is a, if you can get it for $10. If not, just skip it and get something else. Last two. The G's 3. This is your tactics, turn-based RPG. Lots of fun. Really good game. It's a great series. It's been going for quite some time, and this version of it is good as well. And last but not least, if you like RPGs, Ys Memories of Celestia is a great game in the Ys series. Ys 8 just came out. These games are all very similar in story. He gets lost, Aldo gets lost, and you start somewhere that you don't know and try and figure out what's going on. And that's it. That is my PS Vita collection. Do you collect for the PS Vita? Are you a fan of the Vita? I honestly, without a doubt, can say that it is the best handheld console ever made. And the funny thing is, anyone who owns a Vita will say that. Anyone who doesn't own a Vita is like, it's garbage, it's crap. It's because you don't own one. Flat out, if you own a Vita, you will say it's the best handheld ever made. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to have a conversation about this. Until next time, though, I've been your host, the Stooge. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, adventure, excitement. Stooge craves not these things. Welcome to the Stooge Revolution.